All right, let's talk The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 8, which is entitled The Rescue, which is aptly titled, because in this episode, we have Din and his team go team up with Bo-Katan to go take Moff Gideon down, to get the child back, and to get the sword back over to Bo-Katan. They do end up concocting a scheme that's able to get them onto the cruiser where the child is being held, which does have the Dark Troopers on it and also Moff Gideon there. And they do end up getting in, and they concoct this scheme to get the guy separated from the girls. Yes, I'm going there, and I'm going to explain exactly why. I live in a house full of females, okay? I have 4 daughters, I have a wife, I have no sons. I live in a house full of females. But what Disney does with some of their female stuff is just, they're pushing it, okay? It's unnatural. And so they concoct a scheme to get the girls separated from the guys. And here's why this is unnatural. Because we find out later in the storyline when Din does what he has to do, and at one point, I'm not going to tell you what happens, but he gets... Well, anyway, let's just say later that Bo-Katan has the opportunity to get her sword back, but Din went in her place. She should have been the one to do what was going to be done rather than Din. When you find out what she has to go through to get the sword, it should have never been Din to go on the part of the story that he did. It doesn't make any logical sense. It would have never happened, but they had to find a way to get the girls together and to do what they did with the storyline. And it really doesn't serve the purpose of the story other than to get them separated so the girls have their moment, which I think is just ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. Then they introduced the biggest gimmick that they've ever done in this show at the very end. Now, a lot of people are going to say they love this show, this was the best episode ever, and no, it's not. This is Disney using a gimmick to try and drudge up feelings from the viewer, and it didn't work on me. Because if they where they went with this, it should have been much grander at the end. Instead, we get kind of a watered-down version. And I always thought that at some point they might go where they went with this, because all I'm going to say is, the child reached out, Grogu reached out to a Jedi, right? Well, a Jedi definitely shows up in this episode, and you're going to see that at the end of this episode. And it left me feeling hollow, like Disney's trying to do a retcon. It just seems way forced. So I don't know where they're going to go with this next. It almost seems like this show could end right here, but we know it's not. There are future seasons coming. So you can't keep Din separated from the child at this stage. It just can't happen. And we're going to see what goes on in upcoming seasons. But I got to tell you, for a season finale, I much preferred last season's finale way over this one. I'd give this a 3 out of 5 star. I'd give it 3 out of 5 stars, maybe a 6 out of 10. I think it's a letdown. We got Moff Gideon acting like Gus from Breaking Bad. We've got a very silly cartoonish thing with all of the Dark Troopers, which we don't know enough about them to even see them as a massive threat, or we get a crash course in this episode, but they seem too convenient to the storyline. And then we've got the Jedi that they introduce at the end. I feel like this is one big gimmick. I don't think that they're really sitting down and crafting the story the way they should. The previous 3 episodes were amazing, absolutely amazing. And then I feel like as a Star Wars fan, I feel let down by this last episode. So those are my feelings. I'm not going to deny this. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I have been my entire life. I care about these stories, and I don't think that just because they throw Star Wars on it and throw a gimmick at you, that you should just accept it. And I think this was done in a very, very cheap manner. Let's put it that way. But I'd love to hear what other people think. I want honest opinions. I'm a very honest individual. I want to know what other people thought. So please leave your comments below. Please like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you will be notified when new videos go up.